All right, couple ways to approach these problems. The first, and the way that I would probably prefer, is for you to be able to sketch a right triangle that allows you to identify what this ratio means. So if the tangent of theta is equal to 2, what that means is tangent is TOA, the ratio of the opposite side to the adjacent side. So if you just assign one of these acute angles to be theta, your unknown, your ratio is 2. Opposite is 2, adjacent is 1. Again, think of everything in terms of a fraction. And then to solve for the remaining sine and cosine values, you need to complete your right triangle. So if I use Pythagorean theorem, I would get that this c squared value is equal to a squared plus b squared. So 1 plus 4 is equal to 5 square root. We get the length of this hypotenuse is the square root of 5. And so now when we set up our ratios, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is 1, hypotenuse root 5. You would need to rationalize your denominator to simplify your fraction. So 1 times root 5 is root 5. And root 5 times root 5 is, you could either think of it as root 25, which simplifies to 5, or they just cancel out. This is the square root of 5 squared. The 2 power and the radical cancel, leaving just the 5. And then the sine would be the same way. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so we set up the ratio 2 over root 5, rationalize, and we get 2 root 5 in the numerator, 5 in the denominator for that. And now, the alternate to this, the alternative is to use your calculator on this. Okay, so it is possible for you to take this known ratio and solve for theta, right? You can solve this using the inverse tan of whatever that ratio is. So I can use my calculator's inverse tan function, type in 2, and calculate my answer. Now, I'm going to use the green diamond just to see. My angle measure is actually about 63.4 degrees. And now, when I go through and solve this, in this particular problem number 4, I asked you to use exact answers and not approximations. So if I wanted to find what my cosine and my sine ratios were, I'd have to still use the exact answers. And so you can still do this because this entry right here, this is the value of theta. So if I wanted to, I could take the cosine and just calculate cosine of, and just highlight that value. Notice I pulled it right in as an exact answer. So when I hit enter, I'm going to get my answer in exact form too. So when I hit enter, it gives me my ratio, root 5 over 5. Okay, so that confirms that I did it right up here. Do the same thing with the sine. We can take the sine of that, just go up and highlight your exact number, the exact ratio, and when I do, I get 2 root 5 over 5. Once again, confirming what I did by hand was correct. I don't care which way you use. Brittany?